All right. Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We're getting ready to jump back into our Cthulhu Invictus game. We're going to be playing the second part of our beloved Bronwin. We had a pretty decent session last time. We kind of sussed things out and were very efficient. So it was unlike our normal playstyle. We had received a letter from the captain that we were supposed to meet up with. They were going to be at sea for a little while, so we were staying at the villa of the tax collector who had helped us with our problem in the previous adventure. While we were there, someone had summoned Herminius. They were having a familial situation, and they believed they were attacked by a sorcerer. So we went and investigated that. Their freedwoman had fallen ill along with the rest of the family. She had subsequently burned herself and stole all of the silver in the house and fled. So we poked around, talked to the, I'm going to say servants because slave sounds really bad, but it's Invictus, so it really is.
We're not rewriting the history.
Yeah.
We're not sugarcoating it. They were slaves.
Yeah.
No, not workers with jobs.
Doreena had happened to know the hunter that his name. So the hunter's name was Granus. The person that we were working for is Albinus Midiris. He was going to have a big festival prior. Granus was supposed to hunt the largest boar anyone had ever seen. He did come back, but he had neither pelt nor head. But he did bring some small amount of meat back with him. When we investigated the kitchen slaves, they said that there had been a problem with the meat. Under further interrogation and intimidation by Doreena, they revealed that the meat had been moldy and spoiled, and that Bronwin had processed the meat herself. Only the family had eaten it because it was a small amount, but she had been she recovered as well as the family, but she seemed to be the only one that was subsequently affected by the silver. So they don't really understand why she left. We did wind up catching up with Granus. He was at the Cracked Barrel, an inn in town, and he was insane. He said he did find the boar, killed it.
Insane and beaten nearly to death.
And beaten. I was going to circle back around. That he had killed the boar, and when he had turned back around to butcher, it had turned into a person, and that just sort of snapped him. But he went insane and then butchered the person that was there, and that was the meat that he brought back. Bronwin had found him at the Cracked Barrel, beat the shit out of him to find out where he had found the boar at, and then she disappeared. And that's kind of where we are going to pick it up, I guess. We do also know that Bronwin had a lover at the estate, so we may or may not follow up on that avenue. But we know that she presumably traveled north to see what was going on with the boar, as far as we know. Oscar, that's your cue.
One other item. I'm muting. One other item that you didn't mention is that Bronwin cut her thumb when she was processing the meat.
Ah, yes. Correct. Introducing the foul humors that seem to have affected her.
Right. So at this point, you have learned that the boar was killed in the forest north of Mamusium. I can never pronounce these names. If I knew Latin was going to be so hard to pronounce, I would have, rewritten the Old West setting or something. But there we are. That is a far stretch north. For those of you who There is. There.
Oh, can I?
I feel like we need little toy figures to walk it up.
So you guys are there.
Okay.
In Aquasaleus, and you need to go all the way over here.
Oh, wow. All right.
So, hold on. All right, you see Aquasaleus?
Yes.
You see pretty much at the top of the screen, the forest north of. Anyway, it's a long way. But I don't know if you were planning to leave right away, or you were. I mean, you've been at this all day, so probably leaving today wouldn't be an option.
Right.
Yeah.
Considering the distance that we would need to travel, if you wish to speak to Bronwin's lover, then perhaps tonight would be best if we plan on leaving in the morning.
Yes, I agree. We should probably get a fairly early start. And yes, I do believe, too, that him being a gardener, the nighttime is probably a slow point for him. So tonight might be the best time to catch up.
Yes.
Okay. If you'll allow me, hold.
Malachi, I know that you had gifted me with this wonderful spear, but it seems that I have been having less success than I would have liked. This man is my stature. I expected to be able to pick this up relatively easily, but it seems to be a bit beyond my ken. Doreena, would you perhaps want to try your hand with this larger spear?
Yes.
All right.
Excellent.
Now, unless you have the skill spear, it's not you're not going to have a good chance to hit.
Oh, she has javelin, right? Ah, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
she has javelin, crossbow, knife.
I've tried. I think I've failed that in multiple adventures before. Try to throw one.
Am I the only one that has spear as a skill?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do you have spear as a skill?
Yeah, I do. I have a 35 for spear. You,
Okay.
when I got the spear from the Fae, you gave me something base for a spear, and
Right, which is probably whatever base for spear is. I can look that up. So keep a screen.
and then I had one success after that.
So you
perhaps this would be better with you then.
Would you? I was really enjoying this lovely Sayax that I recently acquired, but I'm happy to trade it back out of fairness. You're more inclined to hurt yourself with this spear.
Yeah, so it would seem. If you wish to keep the CX, and he kind of like looks over to Doreena, that would be acceptable to me. And again, he sort of like looks over at her. He's like, perhaps something more inconspicuous, a club, perhaps. Maybe we can stop at the weaponsmith along the way.
We can.
So your weapon guy is actually in the city of Vericorinum,
Mm-hmm.
which is south of Manusium. So if you wanted to see your guy who does make silvered weapons,
Mm-hmm.
one, they are outlandishly, they're ruinously expensive. But he is on the way, and he usually has a fair number of them completed. Special orders are the way to go,
Mm-hmm.
but he'll have a few things on hand.
I
You know,
think
usually like a dagger, a short sword. If you're lucky And by lucky, I mean hard success on a luck roll. It'll be something like an axe. You know. But again, he keeps a very low profile. So unless you know how to find him, no one would. And you're one of the few people who knows how to find him.
So yeah, I think if everyone else is okay with stopping prior, I think it would be wise.
Yeah, I believe Viraconium is on the way, is it not?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. As if the gods had willed it.
Maybe they did.
Yes, indeed.
Hold on a second. Okay, so
I have it. I mean, I don't know that I have it on my laptop. Let me see if I do.
I can send it to you. So, what is your immediate plan? Are you going to spend the night here? Or are you going to speak to that NPC in the house before you leave? You know, and you'll need to figure out exactly how you're going to get to Viracorium. You do have a few options.
Okay.
Would they expect us for dinner at the villa? I'm assuming probably, right?
Not particularly.
No, okay.
You're not like, the villa where you were staying as a guest of the tax collector.
Yeah,
they would be expecting you.
Okay. I suppose we head back to the estate then and take the evening meal and then search out this gardener.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
easily
agreed.
done. You get there before dark because there are no street lights in the Roman Empire. Pretty much everything shuts down at sundown. So you get there before dark. You are given a fine meal, courtesy of the staff. Comfortable beds. I mean, there's even time on the way home to stop at the bathhouse if you wish. I mean, you are in a town that will later be called Bath, so there are lots of bathhouses here. It's a place known for its healing waters. If you believe in any of that stuff, and do you believe in any of that stuff?
Well,
Raise
at the
your
very
hand.
least, yeah, Herminius
Raise your hand if
believes
you
in
think
staying
that's
clean and proper. So,
Okay. Malachi, it is recommended that to get the full effect of the healing waters, you give a tribute equal to your status. So if your status is 35, a suitable tribute would be 35 Sesterci to the goddess of the springs. She has a Celtic name and she has a Roman name. It's been Romanized, but So do you do that?
Yes,
Do any of you?
absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. Do you believe it, or are you just being courteous?
Would he believe it? I think he would be like interested. I don't. Yeah, because the Romans are all.
Very superstitious people.
Yeah. He probably does believe it then. Yeah. Because I've got a cult, right? And we've seen some shit. So yeah.
You literally saw ghosts like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have fairies on your enemy list.
Yeah.
Okay, so who makes a donation equal in sestercy to their status? So Malachi, Doreena, Herminius. So everyone. And everyone honestly believes it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Believe it or not.
Better to hedge your bet.
Believe it or not, in the world of Cthulhu Invictus, this matters. So it has been noted.
Herminius would rather believe and play it safe than not believe and take the risk.
Right. No atheists in foxholes.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is the next morning. You are all cleaned, blessed from your offerings to the goddess of the springs. And shortly after taking breakfast, and breakfast really isn't much of a Roman thing. You might, they can bring you some fruit and nuts or leftovers from the night before, or you can just grab something off of a street cart on the way out, which a lot of Romans do. It's funny, a lot of Roman apartments in cities don't have kitchens.
Really?
Right. So they either, because fire is a hazard in indoor stuff. So you definitely wouldn't have an oven. So eating out in street carts and restaurants is actually kind of a big thing, especially in a tourist town like Aquascore is.
So it's kind of like New York City, basically. You just go to the corner bodega.
Pick up a bagel.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup.
Civilized living.
Yes. It's funny when you really look at the history how similar these major metropolitan areas are to modern cities in the lifestyle. So breakfast at home or breakfast on the go?
Probably on the go.
On the go. That's what Herminius would be used to, probably.
Knock off a sestercy. You grab some egg and onion fruit pies. It's like egg, onion, and dates all fucking in a hand pastry, which I just made up. Actually, doesn't sound
I'm
bad.
sure that sounds delicious back in the day.
Entertainment.
I'm Hispanic. We have a grand tradition of empanadas. So meat pies from carts was a Roman thing.
Now I'm really hungry. Yeah.
Sorry.
Entertainment history lesson and a cooking show at the same time.
Go to YouTube. There's tons of Roman recipe demos out there. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I've done a couple, not videos, but I've made a few. I made like the ancient Roman version of the hamburger. It was weird because it's got nuts in it.
What?
I would not recommend. Yes.
No.
It has like slivers of pine nuts in the burger.
No, thank you.
And fish sauce. But then again,
I'm down with the fish sauce
and everything.
Yep.
But Worcestershire is a kind of fish sauce, so anyway, moving on. Yes, Worcestershire is a kind of fish sauce.
You don't know that?
It's a bastardized, version of Japanese fish sauce.
Learned Worcestershire was a fish sauce.
Yep.
Does it have anchovies in it or something?
Does it have fish in it, or it's just a sauce used for fish?
No, it's a sauce made from fish and tamarind.
My whole life has been ruined.
The Roman version of ketchup is a fermented fish sauce called garum. It was their fucking condiment of choice.
I hate fish. Fish is gross. But I put Worcestershire sauce on everything.
So if you're putting
like fish now,
if you're putting legit Worcestershire, like the branded kind, look at the ingredients. It always has anchovies in it. That's like a major part of the tanginess. So you can get Worcestershire sauces that don't have it, and like HP.
The vegan kind, I guess. But they won't.
But yeah, most of them. And if you look at a recipe for like how to make your own, they almost always will have anchovies in them.
This is horrible. I'm sorry. I'm destroyed right now. I don't
You sound like my daughter. She's like, "Oh, I hate mayonnaise," and I'm like, deviled eggs is mostly mayonnaise, and she loves deviled eggs. And she goes, "Yeah, but just deviled eggs." I'm like, and she loves chicken salad.
You know what though? I
chicken
hate
salad has a ton of mayonnaise.
I hate avocados. I hate avocados so much, but I fucking guacamole so much. It's kind of the same thing. Like,
I know, it's weird.
Oh,
Okay, moving right along. You go to see this guy. Then you're back at the house. The daughters swarm you. Have you learned anything? You know, basically you get in the door, and the daughters, the butler is basically trying to shield you from the family, not to disturb the family. And as soon as they hear that you're back, they kind of come running out and ask if you found Bronwin. Is she okay? Is she with you? And they immediately look disappointed when she's not with you.
No, she is not with us yet, but we do have a very good lead on where she was, where she most likely headed. And in fact, that's where we will be heading come day.
But do you know why she left? Did she leave of her own accord? Was she stolen? Was she coerced?
As far as we can tell, she left on her own accord, but it was for the safety of everyone. There was no selfish reasons behind her leaving.
Okay, and they say, when do you think you'll be back with her?
About how? Doreena, about how long do you believe our trek will take to the forests?
There and back at best.
I'm assuming this is like somewhere that Doreena's been before. So.
I've been everywhere.
Right. Exactly.
It's a bit of a trek. Oh great. You're looking at some fair distance. So you're thinking there would be at least 4 or 5 day journey.
Mm.
So you're looking at a 10-day. You're looking at a Roman week of 10 days there and back. Figure 4 days there, 2 to resolve, and 4 back at best.
Mm.
But probably longer because you're planning a stop.
Oh yes, that's true.
So 2 weeks, maybe we tell him.
Right.
Yeah, at most.
2 weeks.
And they're like, that long? And they seem very shocked, but their mother comes and says, don't pester them. I'm sure they're doing everything that they can, and they're working very hard on our behalf. And she says, we appreciate your efforts.
Unfortunately, we are a few days behind her, so the likelihood that we shall catch up before she reaches her destination is very unlikely.
Understood.
She seems to be in good health, from what we have gathered, so no worries there.
How can we help you?
Macrion turns to look at the rest of the group.
We wish to speak to the gardener.
We'll have him brought to you immediately. And they say, he should be in the garden. We can take you there now.
Thank you.
They take you out to the garden, where there's a man tending to it. And they call him over. And they say, Pasco, these people have some questions for you. It's concerning Bronwin. You're to give them your full cooperation, or we'll hear of it. And she goes, of course not, and I dream of holding back anything. And he looks over and he says, I don't know what I can tell you, but I'll answer any questions you might have for me.
Can I get a sense, did he have any type of reaction when they mentioned Bronwin?
Roll your insight.
Sure. That is, God, do I want to burn the luck? I got a 77 out of 70.
7 points is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
If it's to avoid getting crushed by a rock, 7 points is not a lot.
It's true.
For
this, all right, yeah, I'll hold off on
it. You can't really read him. It may be very early. It may be that meat pie turning over. Coffee's not a Roman thing, so sorry, you have not had. No one's had their morning coffee.
Yep. Herminius is more used to late nights than early mornings.
So he says, so how can I help you?
We just had a few questions before we departed about Bronwin in her disappearance from the household.
Of course, that's what you're here
Yes.
for.
We're just wondering, did you have any close contact or any contact at all with her while she was here,
Well,
particularly before she left?
Well, I'm not going to lie. We were. She's a good woman, and we have had some close times together. I'm very fond of her, and
Yes,
I
we are aware of your relationship.
I would not speak, ill of her. But there we have talked, and we've even talked about getting married. But to be perfectly honest, I feel that my feelings are probably more one-sided. She always seemed far more concerned with the twins' happiness than her own.
Well, she is their caregiver. She has been there since their birth, so that is to be understood.
But, they are young women now, and they'll soon be leaving the house, and I thought it would be a good time for her and I to maybe start making some plans for what to do after they're gone, but she wouldn't hear of it.
Was she simply evasive in it, or did she outright turn you down?
He appears very embarrassed. He goes, "You cut to the quick, sir."
We do not have much time. It is early, and we must get off.
I have my pride. She is a lovely woman, and yes, I was turned down. I would possibly put off would be better. There was never a time where I got an answer, so I decided to stop asking.
Well, she could be biding her time until the children leave.
The relationship was what it was and is what it is, because I do hope she returns. But I didn't think that until the children were gone, she'd really give me any sort of an answer. And I was starting to fear that even after they were gone, it would be something else.
Did you have any contact with her just before she left?
No, when everyone fell ill, there was no time for me to see her. I mean, she was recovering. And then before that, there was so much going on with the party. I was busy making the garden ready for the guests. She was busy cooking and helping the daughters dress. So pretty much for a few days before the party, I had very little contact with her. And then after, when the household fell sick and she was so near death, the doctor said you didn't want anyone near her.
And you never even snuck in just once?
The doctors told us that she was dangerous to be around because of the illness.
Well, yes, but it could have been your last chance.
It could have been my last chance to survive. Have you ever, plague is a real thing. Why, I just heard that there was an outbreak of something terrible to the west of here.
There was indeed, yes.
Which was your first adventure.
Yes.
in this campaign. I feared it could be something serious. So, I mean, I'm not a coward and I'm not unromantic, but I thought it best for the household to obey the doctor's wishes.
Not to push it too much, but this is, I mean, it's, if he was around her at all, then he could also have been exposed. Do I feel as though he is being truthful in this statement?
Roll.
I was going to ask the same thing.
You can roll. You're all listening to him talk.
Holy shit! I got an 07 out of
You're gonna wish you had that old 7 later tonight.
No.
I got a 96.
You're not sure if you're telling the truth, Herminius.
I am so into this guy's story that
Macrion, he seems nervous, but he seems nervous because he doesn't want to come off like a douche, and he's nervous about, being turned down. You're basically talking to him about a woman that he proposed to that she turned him down. And then when she was sick, he didn't go visit her. So he's like, am I going to sound like the biggest douche? So he's nervous for all of the normal reasons, but not nervous that he's lying. He's nervous because he sounds like he might be coming across as pathetic.
Yeah. So Macrion reaches out and puts a hand on Herminius' shoulder, and he says, I believe that he speaks the truth.
yes, as do I. I do not feel as though he is the romantic type that would make the leap in sacrifice.
And he kind of like digs his thumb into your shoulder a little bit.
He basically says, if you do find her, give her my best. Tell her that I think of her. For what it's worth.
We shall. She shall come back, and you will be able to make your second attempt.
He smirks. He says, you can't promise that.
One last question, which may be inappropriate given the circumstances, but you said that
stop? He goes, why worry about that now?
yes, but I apologize on the front end. You said that she had rebuffed you. Is there any chance that there was someone else?
I'm surprised there was me at all. No, there's no chance. She was here every day, as was I. She slept in the house. Servants talk. It would have been known.
Yes. Thank you.
And then he walks away almost worried, like, could there have been somebody else? No.
His shoulder slump a
Now
little
he
bit.
put doubt in his mind, but
Great job,
he was
Macrion.
completely honest when he mentioned that, because he's like, no, and then he's like,
If this was an anime, he'd have a dark cloud over his head right now. He walks away.
Aw. We made him sad.
No, he was already sad. Now he's extra sad.
Right, yeah.
We have succeeded.
Jesus.
It kind of makes sense because everyone has said how devoted she's been to the twins. So,
It made sense to try to find out, though,
of course.
to see if anybody else potentially was exposed or...
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was more interested in whether or not he had been exposed. So, yeah.
Mm.
okay, so how are you planning this journey?
It is quite a bit
By
of a
carriage,
hike.
if we can.
Yes, perhaps we could rent horses.
Yes,
See if there's
indeed.
a
These
caravan
sandals are
going
not
there?
meant for walking.
Horses are in ancient Rome, are exceedingly expensive.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, like a horse is 1,000 sesterces or more.
Right.
You do have, you do communally own a horse with a carriage. That was given to you as part of your reward for the first adventure. So there are roads that lead to Viracorium, if that's your destination. But you'd have to tell me which roads you would be taking. And the ones that go all the way to Mamuseum do funnel through Viracorium and Deva.
Pull the map back up.
Okay.
All right. So
we're down here. I don't know if my mouse is actually moving on the screen.
No, that's wrong city.
Oh, here we go. Over
Wrong
here.
city.
It is moving.
Other side of the bay.
down
we're here, aren't we?
by-
South.
No,
Nope.
To the
Aqua
right.
Sulis.
AQU.
Oh,
Just
there.
above. There
Oh,
you
yeah.
go.
That's where you
Yeah.
So, I
That's
mean,
us.
it is pretty much a straight shot if we take that northern road out of the town.
are. That would go to
No,
Verona.
Iridium.
This is where we have to get to over here.
No, I thought it was over on the other side. Did I get the city wrong?
Well, so Maniseum is all the way up here towards the top of the map.
Yeah.
Where we're
Oh,
heading
there it is.
to
Okay.
is here in the short term,
All right. Yeah.
and then the boar was up here somewhere.
Now,
Well,
what,
we could
what you-
either curve around the bay
Mm.
and then head north, or we can go to what is that? Veradune?
Verone.
Verone. We can head for Verone and then head west from there.
and there is a third option. You can
Cut through the mountains.
you can actually take a boat from down the river into the ocean and land at Deva, which is a major port.
Oh.
Yeah, but there's that giant dragon thing. I don't want to go near it.
That's everywhere around Britannia.
Well, so how common would it be? Well, I mean, I guess we've gotten around, right? I mean, some of us aren't even from here, right? So, like, I guess travel by water is not something that's like unheard of for someone of our
No,
stature.
it's not. Actually, in Britain, even though they've got really good roads now, a lot of goods are still transported on water.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the major cities are on waterways or bays or rivers, so, on rivers. So
Would it be quicker to go by boat?
it actually might be.
Oh wow.
But then when you
expensive
land
would
at
it be?
Deva, you won't have your cart and
Right.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean you could buy a cart and a mount to pull it when you're there. So, I mean, you guys do have a fair amount of sesterce by now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're being paid 100 sesterce a day, so we're going to advance us for a 10-day or 2 weeks. I
Can
don't know
we
that
can
they're
we
doing-
sell our Daisy and our cart here or use it
Well, you do have to come back
Audible
here
gas.
and then
to
just
get
buy
your
a
rewards. So.
Oh, that's true. We could buy a Daisy 2 up there. I mean, just upgrade.
How
everything.
dare you try to sell Daisy?
That's if you want to go by water.
I can't swim, so
I mean, we're not going to swim the whole way.
no, I know.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
it
just
works
thinking
that
of
way.
worst case scenarios. I want to have a plan. If we take a boat and something happens, I don't know how to swim.
Can we sew some like lambskins together and pump some air in there and strap
No,
it around?
We're not doing this. We're not even talking about it. Let me just stop you right there.
So, if it's faster,
You'd probably save 2 days on the trip up and down the coast.
How long would it take otherwise? foot?
It would take you at least 5 days. So let's say you could
Plus,
sail
it would be
around.
much
You
more.
could
It
land
would
at
probably
Deva
be
3
much more
days from now.
comfortable. Yeah, it would probably be a much more comfortable trip as well. We wouldn't have to worry about stopping and resting, finding camp along the way if necessary, bandits and brigands, and all that kind of stuff.
that's true.
So just the sea dragons then.
Yeah, just the sea dragon,
Yeah. He looks kind of friendly. I think we'll be okay.
a kraken or two.
He does. He looks like he's waving at you, actually, Doreena.
He does.
does.
He's
Maybe
saying,
he's
"Well, come
asking
over
us."
here, guys."
We should then. That's it. He's invited
Is
us.
this Sigmund the sea monster?
All right. I'm all for taking a nice little boat.
Okay, so everybody make a luck check.
Oh no.
I've been rolling so well lately. 32.
Oh, you guys aren't gonna like it.
45.
You're not gonna like it.
100.
What?
What?
Oh, for
fired.
fuck's sake.
You're
I saw the
fired.
first 0 and I was so excited.
Okay,
And then
so
I looked at the
Herminius
other
says, I found a boat that's leaving today, and they'll only charge us like 50 sesterci, and we don't have to work. And then, can you put the character names back up?
one. Let me show.
I see a monster.
Okay, and then Macrion says, but this boat is leaving tomorrow, and we'd only have to work hauling fishing nets, and even though we have to work, they're going to charge us 40. And he points to this stuff that you see rats running off of the ship on the mooring lines.
He doesn't notice. He's like, oh, the work is good. It's good for the body. Keep you fit.
And it's the oldest, most decrepit-looking ship you've ever. It's like the SS I'm going to sink.
Macrion.
Yes.
Do these hands look like they've ever touched fishing equipment before?
Well, yes. You have me there.
I deal with sheep, not fish.
Look, he
All
looks
right,
over
so
at Malachi
you
because
get-
Malachi's big. You know.
You get moored on the ship, and 3 days later, you arrive in the port city of Deva.
Except, ...
Did they charge us 50 each or 50 total?
50 total.
Oh,
Okay.
thank goodness.
So it's like 1 day south to Viracorium if you want to go see your guy. Does your guy have a name? Did I give your guy a name?
Yes, you did, or at least I believe he has a name. And if not, I'm making one up. Cartavel.
Okay. So, Doreena, roll a luck.
Oh, geez. $14 out of... What am I at now? 59.
Should be a hard success then, yeah.
Okay, so you basically arrive at Deva like an hour before dawn.
Ah.
You had favorable winds. So if you left Deva immediately, you could probably be at the market when it opens and possibly get a cart and a horse and arrive in and get to Viracorium before nightfall.
Okay.
Like if you set a very brisk, deliberate pace, you could wake up tomorrow and then go see your master, your weapon guy.
Mm-hmm. My dude.
Okay, so do you want to inform everybody of that plan?
Would we be able to walk at a brisk pace to make it by the next morn? Would it be worth us to do that? Would it be worth it for us to do that?
Well, as Herminius has pointed out, he is not a very capable. No, that's not the right word. Very physical person.
Well, you wouldn't be walking. You would be. I was assuming you were getting a horse and cart. You were buying another horse and cart here and setting out.
Yeah. Well, I think Doreena was asking if it would make sense for us to walk.
So by purchasing a horse and cart, it would make it a lot better. Now, how much would purchasing a horse and cart cost? We already got Daisy back.
You don't have her with you, so
Is it possible for us to rent a horse and a wagon? For a period of time. I don't know if that's a common
really
thing.
have the contacts here. No one would vouch for you.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, we could always just buy it and then sell it back.
Yeah.
Even if it's a slight loss, we're still getting we could still get some of our money back.
I think it was like either 150 or 250 last time. It was like 250 for the really good mule, but
mule. Okay, I thought we were purchasing a horse for a second there.
No,
well, we got a mule last time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'd have to pool all our money together in order to buy a horse.
A team horse is 1,300. A mule, a donkey, is 50. A mule is 100. You can get a two-wheeled cart for 50.
Yeah.
So you can get a two-wheeled cart to carry your supplies and like one of you, which would make things lighter and easier. If you wanted to get a small carriage and two mules, that would be a mule team. That would be 300, and then the cost of the two mules, which would be 100.
That's 400 sesterces.
100 each.
We can't all ride on it though, can we?
A small carriage? I don't know.
Yeah, you would all be able to. You wouldn't be able to have much weight, on it. Like you wouldn't be able to have.
That means
loaded
Macrion
up with
can't ride on
supplies
it.
and have all four of you on it.
Oh, okay. I don't mind the walking, so I'm okay with us just getting one, either mule or donkey.
The guy offers you a deal. He says, "I've got a team horse. She's a good horse. She's a little older, but if you're only looking to use her for a year or two, you'll get good use of her. And I can give her to you for 600." He goes, "And I'll even knock 50 off of the cart. So 750, you can get a team horse and a cart where all four of you would have no trouble, and you'd be able to have a little bit of cargo."
So we're looking at either 750 for a horse and cart or 400 and one of us walks.
Or we could just get a regular and then most of us
Yes, or we could get to regular and the rest of you walk. Yes.
I don't know how much money did we get in advance? Is this?
Well, you guys have been on a fair amount of adventures. You've been getting paid, so I don't know where all of this cheapness is coming from.
Well, because I only have 380.
I
don't know who's doing the accounting in this group.
I'm not. I don't know how much money
I'm just
we
keeping
have.
track of my own cash.
I mean, my spending level is 700, so like I don't think I would be opposed to it necessarily.
Where do you find spending level?
Second page under coinage and assets. I have a high stat.
Okay. Oh yeah, 70 sesterces for me. So this is very wasteful to me.
So what's the decision, guys? Are we wasting the whole evening naming the donkey? I mean, can we continue to move along here? There is an adventure. We're not.
I'm gonna push for the middle option.
Two
for the
donkeys in
few-
a cart.
For the donkeys in the cart.
Malachi, what do you say?
We're only going one day, right?
well, one day to her contact, and then you've got to go north to find the boar. To find, Doreena, or to find Bronwin and wherever the boar was killed.
Frankly, I feel I'd be more comfortable on my feet for much of this. I think Doreena's in the same boat, perhaps. So maybe the middle option, having some kind of wheeled vehicle, would be nice for some of our supplies and such. But
All right, so you can do the mule, one mule and a cart.
Okay.
And a two-wheeled cart for, what did I say, 400?
I think 400.
All right, so you do that. You load up a few, you buy, for another 50, you buy like a week's worth of food, water, wine, a tent, basic travel supplies. And making a brisk pace, you get to Vericorum before nightfall. You're able to find the stable. You're able to find the rooming house and get dinner for another, 5 sesterci. And everyone make a luck roll, and none of you fail.
When you say stuff like that.
Yeah.
oh god,
Ooh, this one's better. 13 under.
Herminius, did you roll another 100?
Close.
I got a 10.
Okay.
95.
And thanks to Herminius, all of the bathhouses are closed. You arrive
no!
just after sunset, so no bath after the long...
I've been on the sea for 3 days.
Herminius, I hate you so much. Except I rolled an 85 myself.
I rolled a 10. I had a good one.
All right. That's the problem when you're running in a group.
So it happens there's a women-only bath that's open, but that's it.
You know what? That is a thing. There are some bathhouses that have hours just for women.
Yep.
Macrion, did you fail it or did you make it?
No, I passed. I got a 13 under 60, 69, 67.
I don't know how we're going to resolve this.
It's okay.
I think you're just going to have to be bad at Macrion, and Doreena, if you want a bath, you can grab one.
No. If my comrades cannot have a bath, I will not have a bath.
So the next morning comes, and you know how to find, through the back alleys, the weapon shop of your guy. What's his name again?
Cartavel.
Okay, so you get to, the place you're staying, luckily, offers breakfast. They are right next to a bakery. They have bread brought in, 3 kinds of spreads, honey butter and a fruit thing. It's included. It's kind of the specialty of the house. So you can grab a light breakfast and head over to your guy. So Carnival is in the shop, as always, and there's someone you don't recognize. A young man who answers the door. And he's like, greetings, can I help you?
Greetings. I am here to speak with Cartavel. My name is Doreena.
He says, one moment, please, and he closes the door.
Is this the common procedure when you come and speak to...
And then he opens the door and he says, yes, he says you're a client, you can come in. I'm sorry. I don't know everybody's face yet.
That's okay. Thank you so much.
And he comes over and he says, I see you've met Marcus. And he comes out, your guy. And he goes, you did introduce yourself. Yes, right, boy? He goes, no, master. He says, well, introduce yourself. He goes, oh, I'm Marcus. And Carnival just, winces.
Hello, Marcus. A pleasure to meet you.
He says, finish opening up, Marcus, so I can take it from here. He says he's not good with people, but he is good keeping a fire burning and swinging a hammer.
That's most important.
And he's my niece's son, so it's time for him to learn a trade. I thought that we'll roll the dice, see if this works out.
I think he'll do just fine.
He says, I don't know about your judgment there, but we're gonna give this a try anyway. He says, so Doreena, you've brought other clients, customers?
Yes, friends.
That would have been that would have been a choice.
Friends of mine, associates of mine. But
he says, he looks over and he says, I'm very pleased. I didn't think she had friends who didn't have fleece.
I kind of shoot him a dirty look, but at the same time, no, he's right about that, so I can't really blame him.
He says, well, welcome to my shop. If you tell anybody how to find it, I will send people to deal with you. This is an exclusive shop. I hope Doreena had
yes, they
made
understand,
that abundantly clear.
They understand how lucky they are.
Blindfolded and sworn to a blood oath before we came.
He smiles and he says, okay, I hope you've got coin to go with that honey tongue because I don't work cheap. What do you need?
Macrion just like, I was interested in a club.
He says, he looks over at Doreena and he says in, Brythonic, even though Macrion speaks it, he doesn't know. He goes, are they going to be hunting with you? This is for work.
Yes, this is for work.
He says it's been very busy.
Hmm.
That's one of the reasons I brought the boy in.
Okay.
Something's going on.
What?
I haven't been this busy in 10 years.
Macrion just raises an eyebrow.
Should we be concerned?
Of course.
Do tell.
What?
Tell me more.
He says that hunters north of here have been going missing. There have been people showing up dead. There's talk of, a monstrous boar. There's talk of other things as well. Things more in line with what you hunt. It's all talk, but there have been people, some of my regulars coming in to bolster their arsenals.
That's interesting. We're coming here to look for something very similar. And one of the reasons why I came to you was for that specific reason.
How long can you stay?
I look to the party.
He switches back to Latin. He says, "Do you need something off the shelf, or am I making something for people? Or am I making things for people?"
If you have something that's ready to go, that would be fine by me.
We have a few things. Everyone, if you have something specific in mind, I need you to roll your luck.
All right.
So you are looking for a silver-studded club, Macrion.
Yes, and I fail. 78.
Oh.
That is 67.
Okay.
Well, hopefully he has at least a few silver tip bolts and some quiver, at least one or two javelins.
He keeps 12 bolts and 3 javelins on hand in case you show up.
Giving him all the money plus an additional 50% of what I usually give for this situation.
Do we need silver bolts though, or?
Yes.
If you're using a bow, the arrows need to be tipped in silver.
Yes. So then I would be needing my.
All right, I'll figure out what that is, and we'll settle up later. That's me speaking, not him.
Okay.
So Macrion, he does not have a silver-tipped club, but he does have. Let me see something that would be brawl.
I mean, we have like a basic club, but just like well-crafted, iron-studded, you know.
He says it won't do you much good with. I thought you were hunting with Doreena.
Yes, but best to have something as opposed to nothing. Yes.
He says everything in this place is something. You can get a standard club anywhere. I don't deal with standard.
Indeed.
He goes, this is a specialty shop. He says, I do have a few leftover items. He says, I can part with this, but it's the only one I have, and it's going to cost you. And he pulls out a gladiator cestus.
I don't know that would that help me though?
It's a spiked glove.
Oh, interesting.
It's like 1d4. It's worn on your hand. It's basically like the fighting gladiator glove.
Right.
So it would work with your brawl.
Right.
Which is 1d4 plus your damage bonus.
Okay. Can I see it? It like reaches out a hand, like see if it would even fit him.
Roll your luck again.
Big. Oh Jesus!
Well, it's a gladiator's glove, so it would be big.
Sure.
I really hope you make it because I got a great line.
Oscar just said that Macrion has small hands.
52 out of 67.
It fits like a glove.
Yes! Like a glove.
So he works the fingers and he says, "I believe this would work."
He goes, "Will 500 sesterci work?"
It's a bit pricey, but for something as well crafted and special as this, I believe that is a fair price.
He says, "Well, if as the saying goes, if you have a coin, I have ware."
Indeed.
So you pay, and he gives you this the cestus. Malachi, I believe you have an enchanted weapon. You're not looking in the market.
I'm not. I'm enjoying looking around at what wares there are, though. Obviously, with a professional eye to see if there's anything that catches my eye. But yeah, I don't really feel like I'm in the market right now. But maybe something catches my eye.
Roll your luck.
All right. Jesus. 05.
Okay,
What
give
is
me a
worth-
second.
Except that I'm not really in the market. But who knows? Only, you walk into a store, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know I needed that.
You've got something that you could trade.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put the link in the notes.
Okay.
He says that you spot this hanging on a wall.
Oh shit. Oh, that's like an Iroquois. Oh, a Chippewa war club. Wow. Okay.
Oh, no, hold on. I don't know why I did that. Because that's not what I typed in.
What a tease.
I know. It's a pretty badass war club, though.
Yeah, but it's not what I. It's not
All
good.
right.
He's not going to find an Iroquois club in.
Yeah. I mean, that would be more for like my home collection. You know what I mean? But
Right.
Oh, Herminius, I like your comment about my hat. Yeah, it is slowly. It's actually a balaclava. It is. I shit you not.
What?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
I've been deceived again.
It gets cold as shit up in Rhode Island this time of year.
That's right. That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like my favorite hat these days.
I was gonna say when you want to just really low key rob a liquor store or something, but that works too.
That too, yeah. I mean, it's multi-purpose for sure.
Right.
It just looks really comfortable.
Yeah.
It's super comfortable. It's a reproduction of a World War I comfort hat that British women are knitted and sent to the guys in the trenches over in France.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
I'm wondering if I should go get mine now. All right, here we go.
Your ski mask?
My robber's mask.
All of my winter hats are on the other side of the house. So if we're going to get winter hats, let me know.
All mine are upstairs.
All right, can't wait to see this.
Oh my god!
I'm ready to go.
Ninja.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Well, mine's
my
not a
God.
hat. It's just strictly this.
Yeah. Does it get that cold by you?
No.
That's still a hat. You can fold that up just the way this thing is folded up.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
All right, finally found something that's
All right, here we go.
historically accurate.
All right.
On
Looking at the
Pinterest.
same time.
Always Pinterest.
Oh.
So it is an Egyptian war mace, which would do the same damage as your club. And he says that it's inlaid with he said that this came to him. He actually did not make this. Someone traded it to him. Someone who wanted to get rid of it. But he says that it is effective against the kind of things that you'd be going up against.
Oh, okay.
He says it's very old, and even though it's not silver, it does affect creatures that are affected by silver. As best I can tell, it's a type of stone that's harder than steel.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. That's fucking interesting, man. All right.
He said, "Yeah, I haven't been able to sell it. I can't." He goes, "I paid $1,000 for it, so I'd need at least $1,500 to let it go."
1,500, huh? Yeah. I send my money back to my family on a regular basis. So
he says, "Yeah, but if you're killed by a shapeshifter, you won't be sending anything back." He goes, "Something like this could be the difference between your life and them never getting another cent sent back home."
Would you have any interest in trading for a couple items that probably aren't worth all that much, but maybe would help?
Let's see what you have.
So I have a very well-assembled gladius and a nice club, small club that has...
He says, "I'll take that spear off your hands that Macrion seems to insist on embarrassing himself over."
Oh, there is that. There is the spear.
He says, "I know people who are always eager for well-crafted spears, and if my eye doesn't deceive me, this is she craftsmanship."
Indeed.
He looks over and says, "Doreena, you didn't have any run-ins with the she, did you?"
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's
looks away.
Bitter subject. Bitter subject.
I just shoot you the dirtiest look humanly possible.
He
And
says,
I got a pile of crappy ass net from it.
He says that there's been a few spotted north in Ibaracum. Some sort of a kidnapping.
Whoa.
Really?
So I will definitely. He says I will happily trade the Egyptian war mace for this spear.
All right, you have a deal.
Okay, you now have an enchanted Egyptian war mace in return for getting this spear that no one can use, but everyone tries to, out of my campaign, so I never have to deal with it again.
Hey, Herminius never even touched the thing.
You're the only one. Herminius, were you looking for
I know my
anything in
role.
particular? Okay, and for backstory, in my mind, this is a spear carved from like a meteorite with a heavy type of, silver-like alloy in it. So it will count as an enchanted weapon.
Aw, Macrion. We know you would.
All right, Herminius, was there anything that you wanted or were looking for?
Other than networking.
No, I have my Shay knife or my
Okay.
she knife,
So
so
you're
I'm
good.
all good.
All right, so he resupplies Doreena. He gets rid of the cestus that he crafted, and the guy never picked it up because he was torn apart by a were-tiger. And Malachi, you have the mace.
Yes. Excellent.
Okay, so you're all set. And he says, be careful, especially if you're going north.
We are. And we will.
Well, you're well equipped, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so
All right, so
you
we're
head
departed.
north.
Okay, real quick though. So, Herminius, what do you have for weapons that are remotely effective?
I have a Pugio, a club, and then my she knife.
Oh, okay. So
So-
you do have the sheet up. What's your skill related to that tool?
It's a 60, so it's not too
good.
bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That'll help. Macrion, you have a 51 for fighting. So yeah, I'm gonna because I have the Sayax, the enchanted Sayax. So I'll use that, and then you can use this Egyptian club. I would like the club back after we're done, though. But
Certainly.
I have a silver-edged knife, a sika. I have the crossbow with the bolts.
And the javelins.
And then my javelins are also silver-tipped.
Right.
And,
All right.
and the Egyptian maces would be considered large then, I'm assuming, based by the picture?
It's a double-handed mace.
So as we're in the street, right, so we're kind of like having this conversation, Macrion just says, it is best to be prepared, of course, and I believe that this was a valuable stop along the way. But I believe we should at least attempt to speak with this Bronwin before attempting to kill her. Yes, I mean if she is in possession of her faculties, Doreena, I would defer to your expertise in such matters as this falls under your purview. But if she is no harm, would we not be able to bring her home?
That's a big if.
real quick, what do we know? So we know that this is the area where the first werewolf came from, right? Do we know? I mean,
Well, no,
the one that
Werebore.
Werebore. The one thing that
Oh,
I regret we should have asked, and maybe we can still ask somebody, is how long have these bad things been happening in the area? It's very possible that Bronwin may not be the only person so affected.
Yeah.
I mean, I think obviously the goal would be to bring her back as unharmed
If you
as
stay in
possible.
Vericorum, or even if you just, for the rest of the day and leave tomorrow morning, you could try and run down some rumors about these sorts of things.
That might be valuable. That's above my pay grade. I'm just here to kill things, and try to keep an eye out for the rest of you. But it may
that
very
might
well
be a good reason to hang out in the bath for a day or so. Just saying,
I like
Or the
that. I like
bar.
that. I like how you think, Herminius. But that if the damage has been that great, if the rumors are true, what Smith said, then it's very possible this is something that either predates Bronwin or maybe is bigger than just her.
He did mention, I only caught snippets of the conversation. My Brythonic is not as good as I would like it to be, but he did indicate that there had been some trouble further north. Yes, Doreena, is that the gist of the conversation?
Yes. My apologies. I thought he was speaking in Latin. Yes. So there has been trouble in the north. It has been more frequent than ever before. People have been consistently buying more weapons to the type that we have been purchasing. Dead have come, but a lot of rumors.
Doreena, is this your main contact in this town, or there might be other people that we might be able to get even more information from that you know, or should we go back and talk to him?
This is my main contact.
It does occur to me that, we probably could learn more from him than we hastily realized.
Yeah, it kind of went right over my head. Sorry about that.
No.
We could definitely go back to him and see if there's any other information or if he knows of someone who knows more.
He doesn't know any specific reports, but a lot of the people that he deals with who do, seek out these creatures. Honestly, you're probably one of a dozen, people who specialize in hunting, shape changers in all of the province of Britain.
Okay.
And he says that, one of his regulars is dead and died in the last few weeks, and he died north of here. He was found, torn apart. And, another one went north after resupplying here. And he hasn't heard from him since, and it's the hunter that you guys just left. The one who was insane and beat up in the bar.
Oh.
Right.
So basically, if there's a dozen in the entire country and one's dead and one is missing, that's quite a blow. So he says there's definitely an uptick in activity in the region north of here.
Would there be anyone else that I would know in the area that may be also hunting?
No. You guys move around a lot. You never really stay in one place too long. It's often that you go a year without running into another one.
Okay. So, good chance that I'm the only one.
In the area? Probably, yeah.
Okay.
So, Herminius, your idea of hanging out in the bathhouses and listening for rumors, is that going to be your plan for the rest of the day?
Yeah, if we're just kind of hanging around, then yeah, absolutely. He'll kind of, hang out in the bathhouse, chat some people up.
Roll your charm.
Sure. I'm fairly charming. That's a 57 out of 60.
You actually hear a very strange story about two soldiers south of here who almost thought they were going to be done for by a banshee. And they said that you're hearing the story secondhand, that a filthy looking mad woman came walking out of the dark to cross the bridge that crosses the river just south of Viracorium.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that she was, dirty and disheveled, and they thought they were seeing a ghost. And when she came closer, she was a surprise to see them. They're guarding the bridge in the night, and they stopped her, and she stopped and talked to them, and it turned out that she was just a lone woman traveling at night across this moor, beside a swamp, through this very dangerous area. They asked if she needed any help. She said no, and just went on her way.
That doesn't seem wise at all.
Weird.
And so that was a little south of here?
Yeah.
And about how many days ago?
That was about 4 days ago.
4 days ago. Ooh, okay.
Macrion gives a knowing look.
Well, 'tis good to know that we aren't much farther behind her.
And that's really the only story you have. You do hear a few things about travelers going missing between Deba and Ebarakam. The roads have gotten a little bit dangerous. They're requesting soldiers to start patrolling it, but
Are they assuming bandit attacks, or are these an increase in the wildlife population?
Ebarakam is far enough south from the Antonine Wall that they don't think it's like Pictish raiders. So they're thinking more banditry, or but still, there are people missing.
Okay. So overall, we know basically that Bronwin is in this area. She's probably a couple of days ahead of us up north. And there's a lot of weird, dangerous stuff going on up there.
Right.
I feel like we've made occult rolls on lycanthropy before. So Macrion just says to Doreena, do you believe that she was brought to this place by some compulsion, perhaps some need to be near the original creature, or the thing that turned her into what she now is?
I believe that the hunter Genis, I don't remember his name correctly.
Grannis, wasn't it?
Grannis, thank you. Grannis told her where he hunted the boar previously.
But what's to gain from coming up here? Surely the creature was destroyed.
An understanding of what's happening. Maybe there is more than just that one. And maybe I would think it's for just understanding more of what's happening. If something like this happened to you, you would most likely want to go to someone else. And if there's a chance that there is someone else to explain to you, because they did say she was scared, she was worried. Maybe she doesn't. She just wants to be back to normal, and I'm not sure.
I'm curious what Macrion's thinking too. What was it that actually first sent us in this direction ourselves? What was the information? What was the clue?
Grannis said that she kicked the shit out of him and wanted to know where he had gotten the boar. So he told her, and then she took off. So we're she came this way. The rumor in the past reports that this lone woman, 4 days ago crossed the bridge, headed in this direction. So
it does seem like it's one of two things, perhaps. Either maybe she's trying to find some answers herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or as Macrion, I think, is suggesting, maybe something is calling her back to this area.
A compulsion.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, those two things kind of overlap to some extent.
Yeah.
Do these creatures generally work alone, or a pack. Although they did only make one boar, at least in the stories that we had heard.
That I would know that. Ask, correct?
You've never encountered a wereboar.
Okay.
Werewolves can be solitary. They're most often solitary. You've heard tales of groups of werewolves, a pack even of werewolves. Although, luckily, you've never encountered a pack of werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is terrifying. One is dangerous enough. You can't even. You don't even want to think about what fighting more than one at a time would be like.
Mm. So with that, if we think of it from a natural point, if it wasn't necessarily a wereboar,
You want to analyze this naturally, using the rules of nature.
That's better than nothing at this
Roll
point.
natural world.
All right.
You were all worried. Actually, you kind of are onto something.
Oh, 14 out of... Oh, I know I have a 68.
Yeah, you're good at natural world.
Yeah, I got a 68. At a 14
Okay.
out of 68.
If a large male boar, a massive male boar, suddenly died, its territory would be in flux.
Yes. Okay.
And it would upset the natural equilibrium in an area as other creatures moved in to try and fill that power vacuum of the territory. So
based on that, Bronwin might be moving in there because there's a territory open.
but also all of the violence and instability could be caused by this territory now being up for grabs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
As other beings move in to try and lay claim to a territory that is now undefended. From what your hunter friend said, it was the most dangerous creature he'd ever battled, and he barely escaped with his life.
Mm. And I agree with Herminius.
Go ahead.
Most likely more wereboars or other creatures may be moving in.
So
potentially what we are moving into is a massive scrum of occult beings vying for power within an area
And territory.
Exactly.
Yep.
Is it possible to call up a legion to help us with this, perhaps?
Unless they have the coin to equip them all with a silver-studded pilum, I don't believe they would be much of any help.
And they may not believe you.
Yeah,
Or
these are
they
bad.
would hire experts to go and handle it. Oh wait, that would be you guys.
Yeah, but I think we need about what are there 9 other hunters still in existence? I think can we track them down, bring them in?
We don't keep pagers with us. Sorry. You can phone
All
a
right,
clock.
so it's getting near 11. How late are we playing?
I mean, I'm good, but it's earlier for me, so.
I'm getting observed tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So I didn't want to stay past
once you leave
11:45.
here and go north, stuff's going to start happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that one scenario or one evening then at that point, Oscar, do you think?
Yeah, that was one. If you guys hadn't spent so much time shopping for weapons and naming horses, we might have gotten through this in one night. But I don't care. If you guys want to Shatner it up and role play and chew up the scenery,
Well,
I'm all for it. This means I don't have to write anything new for you guys for a whole nother week.
I mean, if I can suggest, I do think we still do need to know some more stuff before we just wander in where really the only outcome is killing things or being killed. If there's some way that we can figure out what to do with Bronwin, perhaps.
I think that you don't have enough information yet to really figure out what's going on.
I think it really all depends on her disposition when we find her.
Right, you guys have like at least 3 different theories of what could be going on with Bronwin.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard maybe she's coming here for answers. Maybe she's looking for a cure. Maybe she's called here mystically because of the power vacuum.
No, the one uniting thing though is we all do agree that she's a werebore, and that's the thing that we need to figure out how to deal with that. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
I think the problem, what we ultimately run into is how much control she has over herself and in her recent position. If she can be reintegrated into society, then absolutely we can, find her, take her back. But if she's gonna lose her shit randomly, then
I'm going to say that while you're here gathering information in the bathhouses, do you want to try and work in the giant boar to the north? Because it was famous throughout the region. That's why the hunter
was it?
came here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then absolutely.
Okay, so everybody roll a charm or persuade to try and work that into conversation. Just hanging out at bathhouses, bars, public area, shopping areas. You're just pounding the pavement looking for rumors.
People think I'm crazy. I rolled a 90.
It's 47 out of 70 on persuade.
Malachi?
04. Oh shit! Out of
beautiful.
Macrion's like, there's a fucking boar, right? And it's huge. Right? It's really big. Is anybody
lunatic with Doreena?
Yep.
Tell him, right? You heard all about it too, right?
Okay.
The giant
Herminius, you get, and Malachi, you will get more. Herminius, you get that it was a magnificent creature. A bunch of people had actually seen it, but it never hurt anyone. The worst it did was chase some hunters up a tree and kill a few of their dogs, but it wandered off and it let them go. And they said that they'd shot it with arrows that would have brought down a great stag, and even broke a spear on its hide. But like the worst it did was chase them up a tree and drive them out of the area. So they spread rumors never to go into that forest, that there's this freaking boar that's just unstoppable.
Right. That the people, the hunters that have gone into the area and out have been lucky to escape with their lives, and don't push your luck, basically.
Right. But it never left the forest.
Yeah.
And there are people who say that the forest is haunted by the boar, and it's not a natural creature. It's some kind of a she spirit beast.
Yeah.
Malachi, you rolled an 04. So you are actually kind of in a bar having a drink with this old woman. And she says, "Oh, I know all about that forest. That forest was a sacred place long before the boar came." And says that forest is where they say a sleeping god lies.
Oh. How long has the boar been a problem in those woods?
And she says the boar was never a problem in the woods. The boar kept people out of it. Then there are a few people who live in the woods. They've learned to live with the boar. Or
are these people there? Are they in villages in the woods, or?
She says no. There's a family of tanners that live at the northern edge of the boar's territory, and they've never had problems with it.
Family of Tanners. Interesting.
But she says that if anything, the boar was a sacred creature placed there to guard the tomb of this dead god.
What was the god? Do you know?
She says that all depends.
I buy another round of wine for us.
She says, do you know of the War of Shadows?
I do know the War of Shadows, yes.
Have you seen things which you cannot explain?
I have indeed. And I start to show her some scars.
She says that it is a dark god that it's a hungering shadow. It's a lurking death. It is lust and greed and death and violence. It is a darkness that takes form within a man or a woman and transforms their body to manifest. It is a dangerous thing.
Have you heard it given a name?
I've heard it called that which lurks. And its tomb is said to be in that forest.
Have you ever been into the forest?
Once, when I was a child, before the Tanners were there, before the boar was there.
But the tomb was there.
The tomb was there, yes.
Did you go to the tomb?
No, I was among those trying to keep people away from it. The boar was a blessing, but I've heard tell that a man boasted he had killed it.
There is indeed a man who claimed to have killed it.
That cannot be a good thing.
No, it sounds like it hasn't been a very good thing.
She says, when I was a child and I saw the tomb of the dead god, it was marked by a seal, a great seal, placed there by the she.
By the she trying to contain the god?
Yes.
With the seal. Has something happened to the seal, or
I don't know.
We're still intact. Yeah.
As I said, I had not been there since I was a child.
Does that mean? Do you think that these boars have? This boar has been brought there by the she, by the Fae, to prevent people from coming near this tomb?
Who can say?
Yeah. Do you know approximately where in the woods the tomb is?
I do not. I just know that the forest has shifted much since my youth.
But the Tanners may know.
If you truly wish to help, I would seek out the Tanners.
We absolutely do wish to help.
Then my advice to you, my friend, would be to seek out the Tanners.
All right. Thank you very much.
And she smiles and she says, you will have a chance to repay me, Malachi ben Zakai.
Really? How do you know my name?
I know many things.
Okay, I'm going to do an insight roll real quick. And then another roll. I also want to do a spot hidden too. But insight... Oh, fucking God. I didn't need an 01, but I rolled an 01.
You rolled an 01 on your insight?
Yep. Which my insight is some absurdly high fucking thing that I didn't need to roll a fucking 01.
All right, I'm going to ask you to make a POW check.
Oh fucking god! I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
The worst time to roll a 1.
Oh, Christ. Where's POW? Okay, POW. There we go. Jesus. Okay, I have an 80 for POW. Are you? God.
99.
I rolled a 98.
What? What the fuck?
Okay, you look her. When you said, "Do you know?" When you said, "Do you know me?" and she goes, "I know many things," and you start to feel very uneasy.
Yes,
and
I
you
do.
start like staring at her, like trying, and you kind of see that her form shimmers. And she smiles and says, "I chose well, but for now, sleep, Milesian." And she holds out a hand, and you just pass out. And Doreena and Macrion, as you're ranting and raving about giant pigs in the marketplace, one of them says, "Hey, are you friends of the burly Jew? The
Yes.
We were sent to fetch you. He's apparently very deep in his cups, and no one can wake him."
Oh. Okay. Let's go.
Huh. Interesting. We've never known him to be able to drink that much before.
Okay, you guys find him, and he's absolutely like passed out. Like,
Yeah, I arms over the shoulder and start dragging him out.
When you wake him up, he speaks nothing but Aramaic for like an hour. And he's basically doesn't recognize any of you. And it just slowly starts to wear off as he dozes in and out of consciousness over the next 2 hours.
What did you drink?
And then it's basically like 3 a.m. before he starts making any kind of sense.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sure there's like water thrown on him at some point to try to get him to snap out of it.
Right. You can all roll. Occult or Cthulhu Mythos.
I'll try cult.
What's my cult now?
49 out of 60.
On what? Occult or Cthulhu?
Occult.
These effects are quite likely bewitchment. Some sort of a glamour placed upon him, a very powerful one, by any manner of sinister things, from witches or demons or jinn, possibly even she.
Fuckers.
Malachi, who did you speak with? Someone? This can't be accounted for by just
Malachi, you can now
drink.
Can you relate what freely?
You're muted, sir.
Can I speak Latin again now?
Yes.
I don't really know exactly what happened, but blah. Probably interspersed with a little bit of Aramaic still. That woman did something to me, but she gave me quite a bit of information before she did so.
That is good. The Tanners then seem to be a key to this,
Yeah.
at least for now.
Tanners on the north side of the woods. A family of Tanners that live on the north side of the woods that seem to have some connection to this tomb for the lurking one.
So it seems then perhaps that she is being summoned by this being then perhaps to be the new protector if the realm has been undefended with the untimely death of the boar.
It could be. She's being called up for a greater purpose. Maybe our job is done here. Maybe we should be grateful if she actually fills the void.
Perhaps.
But the woman did say if we wanted to help, we should go and talk to the tanners.
Yes, that should be our next move then, for sure.
I think I need to go to the baths for a little bit, though.
Perhaps you need to sleep.
It's like 2 hours before. It's like 3 hours before dawn. You've lost like the entire evening.
Yeah, I think I need to go lay down for a little while.
Yes, I suggest that we find our room and get you a little bit of rest before we have to depart.
Okay. So because Niels didn't want to stop playing until he had a little bit more information, I had to foreshadow a powerful being that will be linking to future adventures.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
Cool.
Because the universe, he was seeking information from the universe, and then he rolled under 5, and the universe decided to answer.
He did make a donation at Bath.
I believe in the bathtub. That's what all happened to me.
He got answers that he was seeking. So, but of course, he's not. He's leaving out the part saying that, "Oh, you'll have a chance to repay me."
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that part off for now.
That's not our
It's
problem.
gonna be keeping me sleepless at night for a while.
Yeah.
And my job here is done for the evening.
Cool.
All right, well, I thought we would finish, but it's kind of better that we didn't. I think this whole journey worked out pretty well. This is the longest I've sent you on one stretch across Britain. So now you're actually in the Midlands. You're out of the South. And we'll be staying here for a bit. Definitely all the rest of this adventure and all of the next one.
Oh, cool.
Which I've already got my idea.
Nice.
All right, so yeah, I think we're good, and we'll pick up next time as you head north into the forest north of. God, I can never remember the name of this freaking place. Mamusium.
Sweet. And I'm sure nobody will be horribly murdered or go insane.
No, it'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Well, with some of these 198 rolls, let's hope we've gotten them out of our system before we actually enter the forest.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. Hope for the best.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for running. Thanks everybody for playing. Thank everybody for checking this out. We do have coffee for sale. It's that legendary brew. There's a link in the show notes for that, or you could check out tinyurl.com/legendary brew. It's a nice, easy drinking medium roast. It is very tasty. Neil is still roasting along with his assistant. If you use the code Legends10, you're going to get 10% off your order, and shipping is always free. You can also check out those other sweet brews over at the Birds of a Feather Coffee Company. The Night Owl blend is also fantastic. It's the only other one I've had. It doesn't have as much caffeine. The darker the roast, the less caffeine. So you got to go with something a little bit lighter if you're looking for that caffeine jolt. We also have our Patreon up as well. There's early releases and things like that, post shows and all that stuff posted over there. So if you'd like to throw a couple of sesterces our way, that would be fantastic. We certainly appreciate it. But reviews and ratings on iTunes and whatever your podcatcher of choice is is supremely helpful. Just bumps us up in those algorithms and lets people know what we're doing and kind of put some eyes on it. Oscar is a little sneak preview here, which I'll have to cut this out later, is going to be running a Kickstarter soon. We'll tease that. There is a new project coming up in March.
You're calling it Project Acorn?
Mhm.
And we have released on our website on our Facebook page that it will be a Kickstarter in March. So that's all stuff that you don't need to edit out. You can say that.
Well, by the time this releases,
By the time this releases, the Kickstarter may be over.
we'll be 3
I
years.
think you're just posting our first
People will have
adventure
product
now.
in hand.
That's cool. And there was a restock on the Cthulhu Invictus 7th edition not Britannia book, the Cthulhu Invictus book. Some
Yes.
people have been looking for that before, so that
And
is
then we
available.
made a deal with the Scandinavian distributor, and most of them are gone. We still have a good supply of them, but a lot of those are going to be in game stores all over the shelves of Scandinavia. So, but we still got a nice, healthy supply if people want to purchase. I'm just going
For
to
our
need to reorder.
Finlandian listeners.
Hey, we got a couple of people in Sweden and
They win a lot of awards. They have their RPG Kung Fu is very strong. I'm very excited to be in that market in a bigger way.
Yeah, Free League is killing it. They've got just a ton of products out right now.
Free League is amazing.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Just a juggernaut.
Yeah,
Yep, for sure.
yeah they really are raising the bar. I feel like it's
Very much so.
actually. I have right here. I have the notes.
They better send us some money for all these plugs.
They should. Not that they really need it. I feel like they're
Not that they really need it.
their own money. Yeah, this is. I have the Alien, and I also have the Twilight 2000 coming soon. But
Nice.
the Vason,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is beautiful.
horror RPG is amazing. The artwork is incredible.
I have the Alien as well, and I've read it like 2 or 3 times, but I still haven't played in it or run it. So looking forward to doing that.
I am too busy to pick that up.
If you ever do run
But I'm hoping someone will run it for me at some point so I can actually play it.
yes,
John.
That isn't the biggest hint, wink, wink.
Right.
We'll go way
Oh
back.
my
I
God.
can't believe that you have a RPG podcast and you've never actually run a game on your own podcast.
I have people
He
for
knows
that.
he knows a lot of good people who run games. I don't blame him.
I've got you, and I've got Oscar and Todd and Neil, and Glancy's run a couple of games for us.
Yeah.
And, I've got people.
I'm so jealous. I'm not going to rest until I get to be on the other side of the keeper screen with Glancy. That guy holds court at table. I've run games in the same room with him, and I'm like, damn, that's some good kung fu. I'm proud of my art on my keeper screen kung fu, but he's like, yeah. If anybody says I'm dropping out of your game to go play his, I'm like, yeah, I can't play.
Yeah, I understand. I'd
Yeah.
drop out of my game too if I had the chance.
Well, it's part RPG and part like continuing education credit college class. Like you get all of the stuff, and it's awesome. Yeah, it's been a while since he's been on for anything, which I guess sucks. You should probably talk to him and see about having him come on for something.
I actually had him as a player last year.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we did the
Yeah, you were the part of that game
Yep.
where you guys wanted to burn down Deva, and I wouldn't let you.
And then I ran away, and you guys had to come find me.
All right,
You can
folks, I gotta
find that
go. I
game
gotta
on
go do a
YouTube
little bit of
or
work.
Patreon.
All right, take care, Malachi. Stay safe.
Yeah, right on.
Take it
Thanks.
easy, Neil.
I gotta run too. Bye,
Hey,
guys.
See ya.
Have a good night.
Good night,
You too.
guys.
All right, and then there were 3. So I thought we were going to finish this tonight.
So did I, but I guess everybody was
Shopping episode.
Well, we
you
started a
didn't
little
have
bit
to
late too.
talk to the lover, but you did.
Right,
And
yeah.
that ate up time. And then you were like, I don't know. It's fine. Everybody had a good time, I think. We ended on a creepy note. I had to kind of vamp it up a bit to end on a high note.
Yeah.
But I've been wanting to kind of start introducing more of these, powerful mystic beings.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And he rolled under a 5, so it was like, all right, you've given me a crack that I could sneak something through.
Right. I mean, up until this point, too, the only we've run into these kind of powerful beings in the wild, or if they have been in civilization, they've been encroaching. They've been the enemy that we've had to drive out. I think this is the first time we've ever really run into like a friendly creature that's just kind of like chilling amongst the people.
I have like 3 different things I may want to go with. One, she's a Welsh dragon. Who's just like a defender of this area, because technically you just crossed Wales.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. That's 1. 2, she's a fairy queen.
Regina would love that.
That's the one I'm leaning most heavily towards, actually.
Yeah.
And 3, she's an outer god. She's not an outer god, like an elder god.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Bast and Nodens, and so she's like one of the gods of the She,
Right.
Mhm.
like Lud and Morrigan, and so I'm leaning towards either fairy queen or elder god.
All right. See, I like the dragon idea of her almost like traveling town to town, just making sure that people aren't mucking shit up.
So I think at this point you figured out that perhaps the boar was some kind of a guardian.
Mhm.
Yep.
And now that he's gone, it's like just chaos because
Yeah.
Yeah. Who controls? It's like whacking a capo. And then like
Right.
power vacuum and.
Well, I mean, you probably now also have beings that are attempting to take the place as the new guardian to protect the sleeping god, creatures that are attempting to maybe raid the territory of this god, some that are just after to kill the god itself,
break the seal and let him out.
Exactly, yeah. There's a whole bunch of types of whoever's that could be in that area.
One of my favorite types of scenario is like for the want of a horseshoe nail. Like this guy just went to hunt a boar.
Yeah, right.
And he ended up killing this, guardian thing. And now, this dark god may get further purchase in the world because the tomb is, maybe unguarded and everything's rushing into the area.
Yeah.
And he was just hunting a boar.
Right, right. That's cool. I think that's a really cool.
It's always like, I guess part of my Hispanic superstition to just leave well enough alone. Like, don't fuck with it. Like, no Ouija boards, no seances, no tarot cards. Leave that shit alone. No good will come from it.
Yeah.
And that's part of like
why invite it in?
Right. I've said this in interviews before and then panels. That one of the scariest moments was I asked my mom for if we can get a Ouija board. She said absolutely not. And I said, why? Do you think it's fake? And she said, and this is dead ass the truth. She said, no, it's just not a good idea to draw attention to yourself. And I was like 6. And that was like, and I was like, wow, it's not that she doesn't believe. It's that in her universe, she knows it to be true,
Mm-hmm.
and treats it with the same respect you'd treat a rattlesnake.
Right.
You know, that it is there, it is real, it is dangerous, and you don't fuck with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the foundation of all of my horror writing.
Mm.
Which is weird because the whole point of an investigation is you fuck with it. But in most of my scenarios, it's things went wrong because people fucked with it, and now you have to fix it.
Exactly. It seems like a lot of it is like the accidental fuckery, and then the team comes in to clean up the mess.
Right.
Yep.
Most of my investigations, if you probably look at my whole list, are they're fixing this, they're fixing this. It's not that evil somehow got a win. It's that somehow some asshole kicked over a hornet's nest of fuckery, and now we're all going to pay the price for it. Which I guess is the Hispanic superstitious perspective on horror.
Yeah. We're like the proto Delta Green. We're like the Roman era of Delta Green.
That's the Shadow War. Yeah. That's the whole basis of how I redid this setting. That there are people who know.
Yeah.
And that their job is to stop other people from knowing and keep people safe.
Yeah.
Which I think is the most noble way to play Call of Cthulhu. You're the people falling on the grenade because you already know.
Yeah. I was kind of like as we were sort of coming, through to the end, but before, Malachi's whole thing, like, well, like, if these creatures are here, right? So like they observe, so like some hierarchy of power, and if the boar was like the most powerful and was filling this role and he wasn't hurting anybody and just started his thing, and then the other were creatures sort of respected that power and whatever. So it's like, okay, cool, like, well, maybe we can go in and like talk to everybody and be like, okay, well, we know like you're all right, you're like a fox and you're a wolf or whatever, but like, hey, if we could just come to like some agreement that like nobody fucks with this thing, then we'll leave, and then like let's just sort it out. But now it doesn't seem like it's going to be that at all.
Right. No. I'm not sure what we're really going to be able to do. Like, I think at this point, kind of like, is it our problem? I mean, eventually it will be, most likely.
That's like that whole scene in Guardians of the Galaxy. What do you care about the universe? What do the universe have to do? I care about a couple of the idiots who lives in it.
Yeah, right. Yep.
How is this our problem?
Yeah.
Really? If a dark god awakens and destroys everything, that's not your problem.
Depends on how it works out. Like, if the good creatures end up like gaining control of the territory and retaining balance, then it's all copacetic. It's all business as normal.
You realize you're on the team good creatures, right? You are some of those good creatures.
But how do you? Yeah, but I mean, we'll have to like go in there, find Bronwin, and then do we necessarily attempt to tempt fate and put ourselves into this? Or do we let the more powerful beings
a day to do that? You're
work it out?
On the clock.
Oh yeah, I mean we're being paid to find Bronwin and bring her home.
Kind of. We're part of the Shadow War.
It started that way.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, all of these things are our responsibility. You know what I mean? We're doing thing like, okay, it was a sorceress attack, so they wanted you. So like we're already like it's our responsibility. Now, if it turns out that she's the new protector, well then like job done. If she's able to fulfill that role, we help her regain control of the territory, and then we have her write a lovely note to her daughter, and we bring that home. Yeah. They're like, we're not going to bring her home then. I don't think there's any scenario in which she comes home.
I don't either.
She's either being compelled to be the protector, or She's here just trying to find answers.
Yeah, she left for a reason.
Yeah. I think we get better like story info when we talk to the Tanner, since they live right next to it. Like I think that sort of informs what direction we're going to move in.
Well, plus I think we learned a lot of information about lycanthropy last episode. Of it depends on how she was infected, what it is, all that kind of stuff of how much control she has.
Mm-hmm.
And my leaning is that from the interaction that she had with the hunter at the tavern, it's not a lot.
Well, she kicked the shit out of him. So
you think she's out of control?
Yeah.
You don't think? You think she's not herself anymore?
I think she has her senses, her personality is still there, but I don't think that she necessarily has control over her form and her power. So I think her as a person is there, but like what happens if like a glass breaks or she goes back and like something messed up happens at the house? Like, will she lose control and start killing staff?
No, but she didn't change when she beat him up. She just beat him up, which would indicate that she's fully in control, at least for now.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, she would have just like.
But that was a day out. Like, she had only been infected for a couple of days. We have no idea if the change had even completely taken control at that point.
Yeah, she got burnt. I mean, clearly it was in her system.
Yeah. Nah, we'll see when we run into her.
Yeah, you got 2 weeks.
We have such little information at this point.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. You don't want everything figured out quickly.
Right.
You want there to be stuff you're still discovering in the final section of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you get all the information and then it's just struggling to achieve your objective, it becomes frustrating.
Right. Yeah, I honestly think the decision of whether or not to bring her back, leave her there, or kill her will happen in the moment. Like, I think it'll be I almost think it'll be like a snap decision that'll happen.
And honestly, you can't disregard the possibility that the choice may not be yours. Depending on her reaction, you may have no choice.
Oh, yeah.
To do one or the other.
Yeah.
But you won't even know that until you find her.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's exciting for players because you're gonna track her down and basically don't know, is this going to be a conversation? Is this going to be a battle? Are we going to be fighting beside you? Are we going to be fighting against you?
Yeah.
Do you have any answers? Do we know more than you at this point?
Right.
You have no idea.
Yep. Yeah, we have no idea if she even knows what she is.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I mean, I wish I had a better title for this one. I think our beloved Bronwin is a bit weird, but I think the adventure itself is not turning out to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, no,
I think so. I think it's really good as like an intro title. It doesn't really give anything away. The main character, the main aspect of the adventure itself is Bronwin, and that's kind of the lead-in for everything. I think attempting to come up with anything more, for
clever?
lack of a better term, yeah, exactly, clever. The last thing I could think of at 11:30 at night I think it would try to like give a little too much away. And I think the lead-in of, well, it could be a bunch of different things, and then it turns out to be this, is kind of the fun aspect of the start of the adventure.
Right. I'm glad it's going well, and I'm really glad that I don't have to write anything for 2 weeks, and we can finish playing this one, and then
maybe 3. Who knows what happens next time?
honestly, if I really wanted to spend 1 hour stretching out the ending, it could be another 2 sessions. It would.
Yep.
It would. Stretching this out a whole nother session would honestly just take me about an hour's worth of writing. I don't know if I want to do that because I kind of feel like we've done a few long ones.
Yeah, Oak
So
Shadow was 3.5 with the prelude. 4.
Right. And this is already going to be 3. I don't want it. I don't think 4 would be cool. But anyway, I'm going to go. It's 11:30, and I've got mailing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My goal tomorrow is to. What sucks is that the way the backer kit works is you can print labels, but they have to be mailed that day.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm going to wake up, and my goal is to print 85 labels, finish all of that because I kind of pre-packed some of it.
Mm-hmm.
So print the labels in the morning, get 85 packages ready to go out the door and get them to the post office, before lunch, and then pick up lunch and come home.
But your post office must love you.
They do. Actually, they really do. Oh my God. Today I was there with 17 packages.
Ugh.
6 of them were international.
Mm.
And 8 boxes, 8 heavy boxes of books that were going to Georgia to get on to go into a container to go to fucking Sweden.
Wow.
So I was there with the dolly, fucking 8 boxes and 2 bags full of stuff. And I was there before they opened. So they opened the door. I started wheeling my stuff in.
Nice.
And they know me. They know. I mean, I'm the publisher that lives in their town, so they know me. I'll come in with I'm sorry, and just drop off a dozen, a 50 thing of munchkins every once in a while. So I said to the guy, I said, look, if there's a line and you have to pause me and take people while you're doing this, that's fine. This was my major thing to do today. I'm fine to sit over here and wait. And they said, thank you. We really so he'll do my packages, and then 2 people will come and he'll pause me. So I just sat there for half an hour.
Nice.
And they were like, well, we really appreciate it. I'm like, I don't want to be the most hated guy in Queens Village.
Right.
Can you imagine you're just trying to fucking get a book of stamps and there's some douche with 8 boxes and international and fuck. I'm like, look, just you could pause it and take other people. I know, But tomorrow with the prepaid, I just drop them off and I leave. So.
Oh, that's good.
But today I didn't have that option because it was, the comp copies for the authors and the artists and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But tomorrow I can just come up with 85 in boxes and just here, and they push them all in the back, and I leave.
There you go.
Sometimes they even let me pull around back, and they come out with the big laundry thing, and I just dump, I pile them in, and they wheel it in. If I call and I say, look, I've got 9 boxes of books, and they're all prepaid. Yep. Can I come to the back? And they're like, we'll have somebody meet you. So.
Nice.
I have a very good relationship with and they say that they get rated by I'm babbling. They get rated by how much money they bring in.
Mm-hmm.
So they love me.
Right.
Because I pay so much postage when I have a mailing that there'll be days when they get literally one mailing they can get thousands of dollars worth of extra from my company alone in their little Queens Village, Rosedale post office. So no, they actually do they appreciate the business.
That's awesome.
They get all the post offices get rated, and they get to get perks for the ones that do really well. So yeah. in my little corner of the Queens, I'm kind of a big deal for my post office. They do love seeing me. I use a couple of different ones, and the one closest to me is just terrible. I never use them. I'll drive 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll drive 15 minutes to go to the ones that are nice to me.
Yeah.
But the one closest to me is just shit, and I won't. I won't. But anyway, that's that's my mailroom life.
No, I mean, I used to run. Yeah, I rent. There's I still occasionally will go back to the post office a couple of towns over where I was living a few years ago, just because if I have something big that I need to do, then I'll go to them because they know what they're doing. They're nice. They know what, they're much more streamlined. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If you have to go out of your way just a few minutes to save yourself a bunch of extra hassle, it's totally worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. I do not trust the post office closest to me at all. All right, guys. Well, I will speak with you both soon.
Yes.
John, let's start figuring out when you want me to come on to talk about the Kickstarter.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kick you some dates.
We're hoping end of March, like the 19th, the weekend of the 19th, like third weekend in March to start. So before then, I don't even have a cover yet. So I have art. The cover hasn't been designed.
Sure.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Oscar.
Stay safe. Let's all be here in 2 weeks.
Right.
Nobody on a fucking ventilator. Later.
Night.
I mean, he said he didn't want to do any long ones, because we, the last one was longer, but and it's always a struggle between how interesting is it for us to buy a horse and debate whether or not we should go by road or by boat,
right,
as opposed to getting big chunks of stuff done. But I feel like if there's good character interaction and we're having a good time and he's having a good time, that translates to that the listener is going to enjoy what's happening within the game, even if it's not oh, you guys accomplished all of this stuff,
Yep. And I mean, honestly, that was only, at least it felt like only a handful of minutes.
It didn't feel like a long session. No. That particular.
Yeah, that particular, it didn't feel like a big chunk of the game. So we did do a lot. We talked to the gardener, we bought the thing, we decided where to travel, and getting to town, rubbing some elbows. We did. Yeah, it was a lot of prep work, getting into hitting the road and heading into the woods, but it was still a lot of stuff. So we were busy the whole time.
Yeah. It's not it's not like a Fear Itself game where we're just fucking around eating hamburgers or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
We were doing stuff. And
hamburgers with pine nuts in them.
You're right. It felt off to me a little bit, and I don't know if that's just me because it's the end of the week and I'm fucking wrecked. But it felt a little off, and I know sometimes I think you have a little bit of a lag where someone will be talking, or you'll start. There's just a weird overlap with you sometimes, and I feel like it's probably an internet lag sort of thing.
I also keep one of my problems too is that I keep myself muted constantly. So I'm always worried about background noise and all that kind of stuff. So it takes me a moment when someone talks to me and I respond, so I have to unmute and then talk. So it's that slight lag, which I don't really worry about in terms of the podcast because I know you truncate the silence anyway, so it disappears in post. But yeah, I can understand that it kind of creates kind of a slight delay in terms of the actual gameplay.
Yeah. And
I feel like the only person I really end up talking over is Oscar, but only because he tends to have something on his mind and go for it anyway. So
yeah, well, that was the other thing I was gonna say. Like, I think he's so used to running like con stuff, and you have a limited time frame. And I think even like when we play, it's like, okay, well, we're gonna play from 9 to 11. Like, we have 2 hours to do something,
right?
So, like, we've got to move the story. He's like, it's okay if you guys want to like fuck around, it's whatever. But we'll start to fuck around, and he's like, all right, so this is what happens. Like,
yep.
Wait a minute. Okay. All right.
Well, even in his, I think this is just kind of the games that we're used to playing. Him saying, I'm hoping to keep this to three sessions because we don't want it to go long.
Yeah.
But like for us, like it's all just one big adventure anyway. Right. So it doesn't like it to try to constrain it to like 1 or 2 or 3 sessions doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
not really. I mean,
yeah.
Again,
I can understand like getting it if you plan for something to be 2 sessions and then it ends running 3 or 4, it's kind of like filler and it might feel like it's not as exciting or entertaining.
Right.
So yeah, I can understand that side of it, but
I mean, we had the traditional like first act, like we did the whole thing last time, and then this, when we should be hitting, sort of that penultimate point, and then sort of like coming into the action at the end, like we sort of bypassed that. It wasn't around, but like we had the clear sort of upward, and then we just sort of plateaued for a while.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Again, I think it's probably fine, but.
Yep. Yeah, this is the mid-act build. That's all.
Yeah. It's just a little bit flatter than the typical. Nothing exploded.
Yep. You know what, though? It is. Think of it like Romeo and Juliet, right? So we had the build up, the relationship, everything, right? Then like everything hits. That was us like finding about Bronwin, getting into the hunter and everything like that. And then this part is Romeo being excommunicated and kicked out. And so there's that big lull period. But then the very end was him finding out that Juliet's dead. Like that was us finding the she creature and Mercutio. I'm starting to Malachi getting passed out. And so like that was like the big hit that's gonna transition us into the third act.
Yeah. No, I mean I dig it. I don't know how long this episode is not gonna be super long, and I'm wondering because these are so far out.
Yeah.
Once we play the next session, if I combine the two, then just make cut a little bit off the front end of the next session, and sort of
do a little splice. Yeah.
I will have to see. I don't know. I mean, if I can get at least 40 minutes out of it, it's probably fine. I mean, again, we don't.
Yeah, I can definitely see, like, depending on what happens, like you said, depending on what happens next session, like if we have a prep to get ready to go, even if we spend like 15 minutes in game, like prepping to go and getting all that, I can definitely see you just kind of cutting that, splicing it onto the back end of this, and then starting the next episode with us actually like leaving and getting to going to the forest.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
We'll see how it shakes out. And again, I don't know how long this episode's going to wind up being in total, because there's not a lot of side tangents. Like a little bit today more than usual, and looking some stuff up, which I'll cut all that stuff out. So, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. You have all that Roman history stuff that you can, depending on if you leave it in or cut it as B-roll.
Usually, so I've only edited the first episode so far, so
Right.
I didn't edit out very much. So, there was a couple of things, quick history lesson.
Right.
Unlike a Glancy history lesson, which would be like 40 minutes, it's a couple of minutes. Like, they don't eat breakfast in the morning, or, this person knew this person, and something. So I leave that in because I feel like that's relevant to the setting, because people may not have any idea. Like, well, what are you guys doing that for? Or like,
I had no idea either. So,
yeah. As long as Oscar knows.
Right, exactly.
Oh, shit. All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap this part up too then. Oh,
yes. No, that's fine. Wrap it.
Okay.
Wrap it like a present.
Thanks, everybody. Catch you later.
Night.